underneath the bowl. Very, very beautiful guy. Let's see if I can get in on that eye a little bit. Yeah, rattlesnakes do have a grumpy look. But they're actually, look, come on, start moving around. He's a real pretty boy. He's also a lot bigger. The one under the bucket was white, yes. The one under the bucket is exactly the same as this one right here, except that it's a female. It's the female that's going to be going to him. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to roll into the snake room now. This is the actual snake room. And for those of you that are coming in late and didn't make the live feed, you can actually start this over once it's done and watch it if you'd really like to. I want to try to keep it short, around 10 to 15 minutes, because I really don't want to bore the hell out of everybody. But let me go ahead and turn these lights on in here. If you notice, all the lights are dim right now in the enclosures. And that's because we have them thermoregulated. We have these little touch pads that are up top, right here. And if you touch them, the lights have 3 different settings on them. And we add these to all of our enclosures. We used to have upwards of 150 snakes, but we recently downsized sometime within the last year. So we're probably right around 75 or so. Okay. Now, this guy right here, this is another Crotalus viridis. His name is Christmas. And the reason we call him Christmas is because he has those orange and greens in him. He is a prairie rattlesnake, just like the little prairie that you saw earlier. Matter of fact, that little prairie is het for caramel, caramel, as y'all like to call it here. And she'll be going to him once she's old enough. See, he's got his little rattle going there. Now, Christmas used to have a really long rattle. It was 21 buttons on this sucker. It was super long. It was so long one day he went to rattle it and it just flew right off. So he wound up with no buttons and you couldn't hear him for a while. And I guess now he's happy you can hear him again because that's all this snake does all day long is rattle. Super laid back though. He's really actually a cool snake. And that's his enclosure there. Not much for a setup. They don't really need that much when you keep them in captivity. Now we are going to go for some more realistic looks and some natural settings in these at some point. This guy, who's going to be hidden underneath his little styrofoam hide, and he's not going to come out. This is going to be our large Western Diamondback rattlesnake male. He's an albino, and he does not seem interested. Normally, when he hears me at the glass, he comes out. Oh, you guys get a prize today. Check this out. This is Crotalus ornatus, and I'm going to show her to you. She never comes out. Never. I got a picture of her the other day, which was nice, and she's actually out right now. So here she is in all her beauty. One of my favorite snakes. This is a black-tailed rattlesnake. So this is actually a super treat, man. I'm telling you, she never comes out. Let's see if I can get... They can't eat the styrofoam. She's got that slow tail flick, slow tongue flick going. But if you notice the pattern on her, she's super silver and gray. Got some whites, blacks in there. They're really, really gorgeous animals. And if you saw one of these up against limestone in the limestone bluffs or anything, you'd never see it. But if you notice, it has that black tail, and that's where it gets its name from. Black-tailed rattlesnake. And I do have another one of these I'll show you here in a minute. But the other one is a northern blacktail, which is actually from Arizona. It's Crotalus molossus. They look very similar, but there are some differences. I just moved and startled her. But yeah, she never comes out. I'm glad y'all got to see her. That's awesome. Okay, we'll move on down to this one. I have to get on the floor for this one. This guy back in here, he only has a light on that side. He likes this ledge. Is a Mexican West Coast rattlesnake. Now, if you notice, the neotropicals in that, they have more speckles in them than our North American species. They tend to be a lot more speckled. Very gorgeous snake. See if I can get a zoom in. I'm sorry it's dark, but I really can't do anything about the lighting. And this guy here, he's probably about 4 foot or so. He's a really beautiful animal. Now I'm going to get my fat ass off the floor and start moving up. Hang on. Hey, Jordan, I need you to bring me a light, even if it's your phone. Okay, now this enclosure is going to be a little dark, but Jordan's going to light it up here in a second. Back in this corner here, these are broad-banded copperheads. They're from here in Central Texas, in Bosque County. I've got a male-female pair in here that we're going to be breeding out. Very, very beautiful animals. No, I'm not going to be doing any actual feeding today. They eat on Tuesdays. I have them all on a pretty strict schedule to where we feed once a week on Tuesdays. But these are the broad-banded copperheads. They have Southerns and Trans-Pecos as well here in the state of Texas. But these are the ones that you can find around here. And then we'll move up, shine into that box there. In this box is not the biggest, but one of the biggest Western Diamondbacks that I've seen in a long time. And this also came from the home of Jay Light, who just recently passed away. And he's probably pretty stressed because we just moved him in there yesterday. So I'm not going to go ahead and poke him around or anything like that. I'll show you some more Western Diamondbacks up here. In the corner back there is a female Western Diamondback rattlesnake. Now she came from the same den as a patternless wildcaught that we have, which is over in this corner. And we're hoping she's carrying the same genes. Now, this guy right here is patternless. He does not have a pattern at all. He just has a little black on his tail and a stripe going down his back. But that doesn't make him any less venomous. He is still a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. And you can find them in different colors with different patterns out in the wild. It does happen, so that's why we need to be careful and make sure that we learn our animals and we don't just assume patterns are always going to be the same. Yes, ma'am, only once a week. That's how often we feed. Angela Tucker, how big is the biggest one? Angela, how big is the biggest what? I'm not sure which animal you're asking about. If you're talking about the Western Diamondback, the biggest one that we have currently is the one that's in that hide that we just showed. No, never had a problem with them going at each other. They'll leave each other alone. This is a breeding pair, male and female, so they will breed at some point, hopefully. Now, this guy up here is also a Western Diamondback rattlesnake, and it's going to be hard to see because this is a big tank, but he's melanistic, or what they call Oreo. He's basically all black. He's going to have a lot of black in him, more than anything else. Yes, the opposite of albino, pretty much, yes. Now, these are also Western Diamondback rattlesnakes. Like I said, Western Diamondback rattlesnakes don't all hold the same colors. And I'm going to show you one right up here that was bred in captivity. This one is actually called a caramel. It's still a Western Diamondback rattlesnake. It looks a little closer to albino, but if you saw them together, there's a big difference between this one and the albino. This one here is what they call caramel. Usually, here we go. Usually she'll come out and he'll come up to the glass. Here we go. Let's see. Come on, baby. No, not today. He's probably mad because I just cleaned him out. Rattlesnakes have live birth. They are live bearers. And Western Diamondback rattlesnakes, they average anywhere from 17 to 34 babies. So it just depends on the size of the snake, and it could vary. We had one give us 17 one year, and then the next year she only gave us 9. Now this one right here, this is the albino Western Diamondback. Her name is Nana. It's short for banana. And she's going to go to the large albino male that we have. Right now she's in shed. And here's how you can tell she's in shed. If you look at her eyes, you can see that they're a cloudy pinkish blue. And that's how you know that she's going into shed. You see a little piece is sticking up there. She might have snagged on the rock, but very beautiful animal. And Nana's a sweet girl too. She's a really sweet girl. I wish you could see the colors a little more, the pink and the tail and that. You are correct, Carrie. How old are they? Dawn, how old are which ones? We have a lot of various ages. This girl right here is about 2 years old. This one up here is about 1 year old. The Oreo in the back corner, he's about a year old. And then the patternless in that, they've got a few years on them. How might someone acquire a banana? You'll have to wait until Todd Becker breeds them. LOL. Just kidding. Anyways, this right here, actually, there's a few people that I have. You can get albinos just about anywhere, bud. A lot of people are selling them. This right here is a Mexican beaded lizard. This is basically the cousin to the Gila monster. It's one of 2 venomous lizards in the world. Sorry, I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and it's like walking and chewing gum. I'm just not doing very good at it the older I get. But this guy right here, super laid back, and when they feed, which he just ate today, when they feed, they get super lazy. A lot of times these guys will actually roll over on their backs, and I'll have to come in here and tap the glass to make sure he's alive because he scares the crap out of me. But it's just typical Mexican beaded lizard behavior. That's what they do. Real pretty animal. He was awake earlier when I cleaned out his enclosure, gave him all brand new clean glass, and he went swimming and then decided to rub all that dirt all over the glass. So, not a monitor lizard. No, he's a Mexican beaded lizard. He's actually a venomous lizard, one of 2 in the world. And then we'll move down here to John's Euromastic. This is a Mali Euromastic. This little girl right here is from Egypt. And what's her name? Her name is Carmelita. That's what he named her. So this is a Mali Euromastic. She's starting to finally come into some of her colors, which is nice. Her yellows and greens and that. See if you can see her spiked tail in the back there. See, she's got that nice spiky tail. I don't handle anything unless I use tools. We have plenty of tools that we use. Let me see. I'll show you some of the tools real quick. Right here, this is a snake hook, and we'll use this to hook them to get them out of their enclosures. Yeah, there's northeast of me. I'm from Long Island originally, but I've been in Texas for 15 years, and you couldn't pay me to go back. So this right here is a set of tongs. These right here you can get at aestoney.com. And then we also have a larger pair of tongs right here that you can also get from Stoney. Don, you ain't lying. There's one at the Waco Zoo I'm trying to get my hands on that's been sitting in the back room for the last 4 years. Yes, with the venomous lizards, I wear gloves. That's my preference. Some people do not, but I prefer to wear gloves. Matter of fact, these right here are the welding gloves that I wear when I have to handle Nacho. That's his name, by the way. Okay. And then down here, can't really see with the light. This is a Togo fire skink. 1, 2. Sorry, I didn't realize that they were on top of each other. Looks like somebody may be making some eggs. That would be nice. But anyways, those are the Togos right there. UVB kind of makes it a little hazy looking at it. Now, I'm going to pop up in here, turn these lights on a little bit brighter here, and show you all what we got here. Let's see. In this back corner right here, that is a Sidewinder, Mojave Desert Sidewinder. Curlus cerastes, really beautiful animal. You can see how it's kind of peppered with those black dots and the tan dots. Super sharp looking. And this little girl right here is finally starting to come into her horns a little bit, which is nice. The 2 lizards, the 2 Togo fire skinks, no, they're not mating. They're just kind of laying on top of each other. Now, these right here, oh, and if you notice, by the way, there's venomous stickers on every enclosure that we have here that has venomous animals in it. And the reason that there are stickers on everything is, yes, I know what's in every enclosure, but I need law enforcement, the fire department,